calm down. I know you clicked on this video because you're pretty triggered by it, okay? I understand, but I'm about to show you why being a barista, the hardest job in the world. And I know you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? Being a barista isn't hard at all. Actually, it's really hard, and it's probably harder than being a police officer, a firefighter, and doctor. So, yeah. Okay, first of all, this job is super dangerous. Way more dangerous than any other job. This thing can't even touch it. It gets so hot. And I have to use this thing on a daily basis, every day, a million times. I could hurt myself really, really, really badly. This thing requires years of training, okay? It's not easy to get this right, all right? Only professionals can do it. It's super dangerous. And furthermore, I'm responsible for people's lives here, okay? I give someone too much of this stuff, too much espresso, they could die. I could kill someone. All right, now check this out. Latte art, this is one of the hardest things you could do in the world. This is one of the hardest things to do in the world, all right? Oh, fuck. All right, see this? Only a freaking professional could do something that good. Are you seeing this? And that's one of the hardest things to do, ever. So don't even tell me that being a barista isn't one of the hardest jobs. I'm sorry, the hardest job in the world. Whoa, 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 whoa. Everybody settle down. Settle down. Whew. I can tell everybody's feeling a little tense. You know, maybe that a little heated. Things got a little heated there. And, you know, I understand that was pretty controversial. Obviously, I have to clarify that was a joke. I don't think that being a barista is harder than being a firefighter or doctor or whatever. I think being a barista is actually a very easy job. I am a barista, obviously. I do actually want to talk about some of my service worker pet peeves of sorts. Because even though being a barista is a very easy job compared to others, it can be difficult. As much as people make fun of baristas for complaining about their jobs, it genuinely, or just any service position, it can be very hard. So I want to give some of my barista pet peeves so that if you are someone that works in the service industry, you may find this relatable. I actually can guarantee you'll find it relatable, probably. Or if you are a patron of a coffee shop, then maybe this can be a nice guide of how not to act if you don't want to make the barista really annoyed. These are some things that you probably shouldn't do. So let's begin. Number one. When people refuse to tell me their order, let me clarify. People will come in and order a coffee, and I'm not entirely sure what their thought process is, but they won't say what they want in the coffee. They'll just, can I get a coffee? Sure. What size? Medium. As if that was implied. Okay, we have 3 sizes. You do have to choose. I don't know which one you want. Okay, great. Is that just gonna be black? Just plain coffee? No. Okay. Did you want cream, sugar, a flavor? Yes. Okay. Did you want all of them? You want cream and 2 sugars? Okay. So at what point were you gonna tell me that? At what point was that gonna become part of your order? I don't understand why people don't want to tell me what they want in their drink, but it's very odd. And again, I want to also clarify, if you are confused or just genuinely struggling to order, that's fine. That's not a problem. This is only annoying to me when people are rude to me. That applies to everything on this list. It is frustrating to me when people are rude because I don't want to be at work. I want to help you. I'm going to be friendly to you, and I want you to enjoy your coffee, but quite frankly, I don't want to be there. So why are you making my life harder and being rude to me when I already don't want to be there? Okay, number 2. When people get mad about the prices / when people get angry with me when I can't give them an ingredient that we don't have. So at the coffee shop that I work at, we have a pretty basic, simple menu. We do sell food, but we don't have that many toppings. We sell bagels, and we don't have avocado, or we only have cream cheese. That is our only bagel topping, or I guess peanut butter, but we don't have any vegetables or any bagel sandwiches. So people very often want onion or avocado or tomato or egg and bacon on their breakfast, on their bagel. So people will just come in and order confidently. They go, hi, I want a everything bagel with onion, tomato, and avocado. And I say, oh, I'm so sorry, we actually don't have any of those things. The only topping we have for the bagels is going to be cream cheese. What? You don't have any of those things? Well, and it's like, man, I work here. I did not create the menu. I would love to give you those things in your bagel. We don't have those things. And I don't need you to be rude to me because I don't have them. I can't give those to you. As much as I would like to give those things to you, I can't give them to you. Same thing for the prices. I'll ring someone up. They're getting a latte. It's like $6. And they're like, a latte is $6? What? And I'm like, okay, first of all, do you ever go to a coffee shop? Because a latte is $6 everywhere. You're not going to get a latte cheaper than $6 pretty much anywhere. That's just how it is nowadays. And why are you directing this anger towards me? Number 3, when people play their phone full volume. This happens way more than you would expect. I have specifically had a woman go up to the counter for the entirety of her placing her order. She was very rude, by the way, for the whole order. She has her phone on reels, full blast, full volume reels while I'm taking her order. And she's actively looking at her phone, scrolling on reels during the order. Oh my God. How is that possible? I mean, that was just, it's an entire own thing. But very frequently, people will come in and sit down at one of our tables and just go on reels or play YouTube video on their phone, full volume. I mean, it is so loud. It's to the point where it's louder than the music that I'm playing, because we have a speaker system that I can connect my phone to play music, and I cannot hear my music over the sound of their reels reverberating off the walls. Who does that? I mean, I feel like it's pretty common sense and like common etiquette to not play things out of your phone in a public space, let alone at full volume. And it's so awkward, it's strange, because it'll, like, almost every single time this happens, it's just me and them. There's nobody else in the store. The store that I work at, or the coffee shop that I work at, isn't very busy. So it's them sitting at the table, me sitting behind the counter, and I can't even hear the music because their reels are so loud, or their YouTube videos so loud. And I don't know. I don't think that's controversial. I feel like that's pretty average, but if you're someone that goes into a coffee shop and plays your phone or like laptop full volume, cut it out. You gotta stop. You can't do that. Number 4, when people show up before we even open. This kills me because I get to work like 2 minutes before we open, 2 minutes before my shift, or when my shift starts. I'm walking in the door and my shift starts. Okay, it's early and I'm really tired and I don't want to be there. When people are spawn camping the coffee shop, oh my God, it is so frustrating, because there's things that I have to do when I open. I have to start the coffees, turn the radio on, get rags and bring them to the front, go and check if we got pastries, put the sign out, turn the open sign on, open the little gates on the doors. There's just a little closing or opening checklist I have to do. And when someone is there immediately, I just have to abandon that to start their order. Oh, and it's like, that one's not as bad, but I don't know. I mean, just give me like 3 minutes. Sit in your car for 3 minutes, let me open the store, and then come in. And it's, again, oftentimes the people that are doing this are very rude and are like, why aren't you guys ready? 5. This doesn't happen very often because we don't get busy very often, but when people order when I am in the middle of doing something and I am actively not taking their order yet. So this is just, I mean, frankly crazy to me. I can't imagine going into a coffee shop and doing this, but we'll be having a rush. There's a line, and I'll take a few orders and then start to work on them so that, you know, if that's just what you do. You take a few orders, you make them, you say to the next person, I'll be right with you. They wait 2 minutes, their order is taken next. That's when it's busy, that's just how you do things. There are some people who don't understand the concept of this. Even if they were not waiting in line, people will just walk in and just say their order into the room. And I'm like, whoa, I'm not ready yet. I have to be standing at the register to ring you up and write your order down. You can't just walk in and shout your order out. So there's a particular story that I'm thinking of. We were having a rush. Me and my coworker were both busy at the time. I was making some smoothies. I had the blender in my hand. I was bending down like at the drink fridge to get the milk out or whatever. And this old man just walks up to the counter, I'm like, hi, sir, I'll be right with you. Ignores me, walks up to the counter, coffee, want a coffee in this cup. And then I go, oh, well, I try to tell him, I'll just give me 1 second. I just need to set this down. I'll be right with you. Just walks out. He just walks up to the counter, but doesn't even pay. Just puts his cup on the counter, goes coffee, medium coffee or whatever he wanted, just walks out, leaves the cafe. And I'm like, okay, so I'm not gonna you haven't paid. I don't know what you want in your coffee. It's so rude, and I'm also missing information. Like, you can't just walk in, say coffee, and expect coffee to spawn in your cup. So whatever. I was busy. I just ignored him. I thought, whatever, I will take his order when he comes back. I don't even know what he wants, because there are many kinds of coffee. We have different roasts. You can add things to it, whatever. I didn't know what he wanted. So I go about the order that I'm already making. I finish the smoothies. He comes back maybe 2 minutes later, walks up to the counter, and also, mind you, when he comes back, I am also in the middle of helping people. I'm in the middle of helping someone, and I'm making a drink. He walks up to the counter, and I go, oh, hi, sorry, what size coffee did you want, or whatever. I don't even think he said the size. I just asked him a question, trying to kind of be like, hey, you never finished the order process. You can't just walk in and say coffee. So whatever, I greet him again. I ask him a question about his coffee. And then he just looks at me like this. He goes, walks up, grabs his cup, looks in it, discovers there's no coffee, and goes, and like shakes his head, snatches his cup up off the counter, and just walks out. And I'm like, oh my fucking God. Is it just me, or can you imagine being that entitled? I mean, that was crazy. That was one of the rudest customers I've had to deal with. So those are all the pet peeves that I could think of. I do have a story. I have one more final treat for this video. And this is probably, I mean, a lot of crazy things have happened to me working here, but this is probably the craziest thing. This happened to me when I first started working there. I've been working at my current job for about a year now, and this happened when I was still pretty new. I would say this happened in the first month or like few weeks that I was working there. I was working alone. It was one of my first times working alone in the afternoon, and this guy comes in who's a regular. I didn't really know him at the time, but I knew of him because I was told of him. He is, you know, your typical older white gentleman, kind of grumpy and rude and weird, but I was very friendly to him. You know, we were chatting while I made his smoothie, and I don't want to give too many details about him just in case somehow, I don't know how on earth he would see this video, but just in case like my boss saw this or he saw this somehow, like, I am not going to give too many details, but he is kind of asking me some personal questions about myself, which is fine, which is normal. You know, he's a regular. He's trying to get to know me. I just started there. So he's asking me, you know, my name, my age, where I go to school, just like typical conversation things. And then, you know, he goes, oh, like, your eyes are so blue, you know, they're just, wow, blue, you know? I'm like, oh, yeah, they're blue. I don't know, like, what do you say to that? Okay, thanks. Like, is that a compliment? I don't know. So I just kind of was like, yeah, yeah. And then you kind of continue, oh, you're really tall. You're really tall. Like, and just for reference, I am really tall. I'm 5'11". I am pretty tall for a girl. So he's, you know, that's, again, not that out of the ordinary. I've heard that before from many people. He just goes, oh, wow, you're super tall. You're really tall. And I was like, oh, yeah, yep. Again, is that a compliment? What do I say to that? I don't know. I'm also, like, kind of socially challenged, so maybe there is like a normal response to that, but I didn't know what to say to that. I kind of feel him staring really hard at me, and he's like standing at the counter, like really watching me as I'm making his smoothie. And so whatever, I'm standing there trying to get his smoothie done, and then he just goes, do you have a penis? What the fuck? I mean, like, huh? I was shocked. I was taken aback. Who in their right mind would ever ask someone that, let alone an old man asking a young girl that, let alone at like work? That's so awkward. That is so weird. That is so wrong to do. Would never do that. I was just shocked. I was alone too, so I was just like, I had no clue what to do in that scenario. I just said no. I was just like, no. I don't even think he like said anything after that. I was just like, and I still see him all the time. He still comes in all the time. It was so weird. I feel like he had like a moment of like schizophrenia or something where he thought that was like an okay thing to do. But yeah, that was probably the craziest thing that's ever happened to me at work. It was super weird. I like, sometimes I feel like I hallucinated it and it never happened because it's just so odd. But there you go. That's my story. Those are my barista service industry pet peeves. Comment down below if you have any service industry pet peeves that I forgot to mention. Or I don't know. Comment down below. Whatever, leave a hate comment if you think I'm stupid and horrible at my job. Let me know. Maybe I should quit and find another job. Yeah, like the video, subscribe. I post every day. I'm on spring break, so I'm posting every day. Yeah, that's everything. Have a great day. Bye.